All right. Hi, legends. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Here, man.
That's
What's going on?
good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, let's just get right into it. Lexus, I want to ask you first. So, when you got evicted and you spoke to Arissa, you mentioned that this could have been a historical season for you if you would have made it to the final two with Anthony. So, I kind of want to ask you, what were your emotions like? Because we're not gonna see it on your face. What are your emotions like when Anthony voted to evict you over Bailey?
Honestly, I thought it was a good game move. In that moment, I still did think I was gonna vote for him. I think that he deserved it. And I knew that he was here to play a game, as was I, and I can separate the game from like my personal life. So I didn't take it to heart too much.
Okay, that's really good. I love that answer. Okay, Anthony, I want to ask you. So, sir, when you took Bailey, you said that you have to take the person you feel like you could beat over
Like,
Lexus. And I guess from the information we got, we always heard, the girls kind of talk, not too positively about Lexus throughout the season. It didn't seem like they were that loyal to the hot chocolates throughout the season. So honestly, it was a little confusing. So was there more information that you had that made you want to take Bailey over Lexus in that game?
yeah, there was the hot chocolate factor. The way I looked at it was when Victoria left, I knew that she was going to sewer my game as much as possible in the jury. Do what she did best the entire season, which is lie. And she did just that. So when I looked at the jury, I figured, well, that's three automatic votes for Lex. I wasn't sure where Tola was going to vote. We both had great relationships with him, but I just thought it was a guaranteed 100% loss if I took Lex. Me and Lex played the entire game together. We navigated the game, we schemed, we plotted, we backdoored. We did a lot of dirt on that show together. So for me, it was like not just the fact of hot chocolate voting for her, but she could potentially take a lot of credit for the things that we did together. When I looked at Bailey, I looked at Bailey as bottom of the totem pole in terms of the girls. Well, at least that's what in my perspective, that's what it looked like. I thought that I would have had more of a chance against Bailey. And I did actually think that Hot Chocolate would vote for me. I didn't think that they would be so bitter. But it's difficult to explain. The best way I can is that like game players, like real gamers, will appreciate the things that I did in the game, but it's very difficult when you're evicted to not be bitter. And I understand why they voted the way that they did.
Mhm.
Just how the cookie crumbled.
Yeah, that's fair. Lexus, if you would have won the final HOH, a
Yeah.
lot of people were curious on what you would have decided to do. What do you think you would have done in that moment?
This whole entire game, like Anthony said, I've worked with him. I took him to final three and I plan to take him farther. But I was not 100% sure. Things can change in a split second. And I was looking down that path of what does sitting beside Bailey look like? What does it look like sitting beside Anthony? Because
Mhm.
you have to sit and you deserve to give yourself that moment to look at both paths and understand whether you want to make a game move, whether you want to make a personal move. And so I can't say what I would have done, but I do think I would have brought Anthony.
Okay, fair enough. Anthony, speaking of Bailey, your relationship with Bailey was, confusing because y'all was like bickering and arguing a little bit at the beginning, and then y'all ended up actually being like really close in the house. So I guess because we didn't get to see it, I'm wondering how did that bond with her develop throughout the season? Because I thought y'all was beefing at first. I'm like, y'all not.
Yeah, we did actually get into several arguments.
Uh-huh.
We had differences in opinion. It was tough because Bailey really didn't know much about what was going on for majority of the game. So I would give her little pieces of information. And when I would, she would get super frustrated because it's like,
Hmm.
well, you think you know everything, and it's like, well, I do.
Oh Lord.
And we would kind of bond over sharing information, and it's kind of what
Yeah.
brought us closer. So we did actually hit a point where I felt that we were being completely transparent, obviously leaving out, the things that Snitch Spicy said
Mhm.
in her final speech. But yeah, we definitely developed a really good relationship in there.
Okay, fair enough. Lexus, speaking of spicy, the hot chocolate girls would say a lot that they didn't feel like you were really loyal to at least their side of the alliance. They kind of didn't feel like you were loyal to the hot chocolates at all. But I kind of want to ask, were you ever planning on going with the girls, or were you always just wanting to go with Tola, Matt, and Anthony from the beginning, kind of how they're assuming?
I feel like I resonated with Tola right off the get-go. I'm pretty sure on day two, I resonated with Anthony and Matt very early on as well. And they kind of
Mhm.
showed me who they were as people. I just naturally felt a comfort with them. And I think that that was of importance to me. And I want to go where I'm comfortable. And very early on, these girls have showed me time and time again that I can't trust them. I wasn't the untrustworthy one. And they were always, like I've said, my biggest enemies in the house. They were always the ones plotting against me. In moments
Mhm.
where I could have done them dirty, I never did. Even after they've done me dirty, I still always stuck to my word. And so, again, that's on them. And I do believe I was loyal to them up until a point where it was either them or me, and I had to choose myself.
That's fair. That's fair. Anthony, I kind of want to ask, I guess a similar question to you because with Spicy V specifically, she, did a lot of arguing when she was going home about how she was genuinely loyal to you. She was genuinely going to take you to final two, and you didn't take her to final two. So I want to ask, were you ever planning on taking Spicy V to the end of this game, or was it kind of always in the back of your mind, like she gonna have to go?
To be honest, my intentions at the beginning of the game were definitely to go with her. I felt like I knew her and we were being totally transparent with each other. And we definitely played the game very closely together for 38 days.
Hmm.
The issue came when I started to see that she was lying to me, bold-faced, blatantly lying to me. And instead of arguing with her, I would just say, okay, sure, and take that and put it in my back pocket. Eventually, after seeing how many lies she had going on, realizing that she was actually proactively trying to put targets on my back, I knew that this was not a final two player or nor a player that I can trust. Um, Spicy for the first, I think, week was very hot chocolate ish and really wanted it. But then once she started talking about Kayla and Lex, I quickly realized that this alliance just is not going to go as far as we would potentially want it to.
Hmm.
Um, but in terms of final two for a good amount, I did think that Spicy was definitely somebody that I'd be willing to go to the end with. But after seeing her behavior and how she was lying, I couldn't trust it. So I took her out when I had the shot.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Lexus, so can you talk to us more about your decision to vote Bailey over Anthony? Because the girls were saying you don't like women and you never gonna vote a woman to win, but you ended up doing it. So can you just tell us a little more about that decision?
I just think that I've heard a lot of Bailey's life story. I've seen her as a person, and I just think that she really deserved it. And I still wanted a woman to win. I do have like a strong sense of wanting women around me, very strong woman. And I think Bailey is a very good representation of that. She's prevailed through a lot in her life. And I think that she really did deserve it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, Anthony, on the flip side, why do you think the jury didn't want to vote for you? Like, I know that you feel like they were bitter, but why do you think they were bitter? I'm kind of wondering.
I think it was a combination of things. I was responsible for majority of the jury being evicted. That was one way to look at it. Another way is I knew that they definitely, all of them, from the beginning of the show, wanted a woman to win.
Hmm.
They wanted to support each other, and even though they imploded and started going after each other, I still feel like there was a deep sense that this would be really, really good for us if we all really supported each other in the end. I also think that there was a big lack of appreciation of my gameplay. Um, Now, whether you want to look at that as bitterness or not, I definitely think that that contributed to why they didn't vote for me, which is, it's part of the game. It's
Mhm.
jury management. Nobody likes to get evicted, and you kind of have to watch who you evict and when they go in, right?
Mhm.
So,
So from the both of you, we kind of heard y'all both speak about like what it meant to play this game and how much it meant to you guys. So I kind of want to ask both of you, like Lexus, you can start first. What did this game mean for you to actually have this experience and play it now that it's all over?
I just felt like prior to this, I definitely had a stagnancy in my life that I wanted to get out of, and I really wanted to feel a sense of self-success and just to feel really proud of myself, accomplished. So I think it was a huge self journey of appreciating myself, loving myself a bit more, and understanding myself. And I think that this experience was a huge social experiment that really tested me in a lot of different ways, but it made me understand myself a bit better. It made me understand other people. And I think that I've grown a lot and also accepted myself so much more through this experience, which I think is a huge win.
Okay. Anthony, what about you?
um, I feel like for me, it was always just about being proud of myself. Uh, as you guys know, leading up into the show, I was really going through some things. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do this. Being able to show love to my friend and still go after all of our goals in terms of reaching our maximum potential, and really trying to proactively push ourselves ahead. Our conversations that we had leading up until his passing. So for me to go on the show and do the best that I possibly could was everything to me. And to be honest, it means more to me than that $100,000. The journey, the experience, the growth, even the support that I had inside of the house was unbelievable. And I didn't anticipate it was going to be like that at all. I thought I was going to have a lot of lonely days, which I did have, but I had people like Lex, I had people like Spicy, I had people like Matt, people that I could really uh, show my wounds to,
Mm-hmm.
and be comfortable with that support. So it was a huge journey for me. It was great inside of there, and I'm still proud of myself at the end of the day.
Yes, you should be. Both of you should be. You guys played so great. So my last question I want to ask is, what advice would you give a future Big Brother player playing this game? Lexus, you can go first.
I would just say for me, never change who you are to fit in with anybody. I think that if you always stay true to who you are, you will get so far and can accomplish so much more than trying to be somebody that you're not. You don't need to desire to fit in as long as you accept yourself, and the only competition you are facing is your own self, then I think that's what's most important. And you will succeed.
All right, Anthony.
I think going in there with a purpose, um, whether that is the journey, whether it's the experience. Some people just play the game for the money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've played the game, you know that it's far, far more than that. So for me, it's like, if you're going to do something like this, accept, what's going to come with this journey, and get out there and make yourself proud.
All right, great answers. Love you guys. Thanks for speaking
Love
with me.
you.
Always.
That was
Thank
it.
you.